it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. And today I have got a project using the beautiful Botanical prints, what do we call it? Product medley, that's what we call it. I'm featuring the designer series paper and the stamp set today. The papers are amazing. They are both black and white and colour. So lots of really lovely old style botanical prints, stripes, just beautiful, and I think perfect for colouring. I have seen a few people do colouring with them. Let me find you the one that I made first. So this is the one I made first using the, let me grab the sheet. So it's the reverse of this, and all I've done is cut it 3 inches by 4 3/4, matted it on black, and then I've coloured it using Cajun Craze, Old Olive, Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight with the light Seaside Spray, which is what I've then used as my main mat. And then on the inside I've used one of the stamps and coloured that to match. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I am not going to put you through, I kid you not, hours of colouring, because I have done here's one I prepared earlier. I do still have a small amount to do. I am going for a much brighter palette, as you can see. I've got Pineapple Punch, Granny Apple Green. So we're going to mount on Pineapple Punch. We'll have a usual mat of Granny Apple Green, then white for the inside, Pineapple Punch blank, and I've got some Pineapple Punch for the sentiment. Don't need those bits just yet. I'm going to finish off the colouring because I've got this area here that I've yet to colour, and I have to say I quite like it not all coloured. This may become a thing, but not today. So I am going to use a small amount of the Mango Melody just to add a little warmth to some of these fruit. I have no idea what they're meant to be. The inside looks like citrus fruit, but the outside doesn't really. So I don't know. Oh, actually a little bit just there and there. And then I'm going to come in with my light Pineapple Punch and just go round the pith. So I am imagining these as citrus fruit. And then with my dark Pineapple Punch, I'm going to colour in the fruit, both the outside and the inside. That I'm thinking is leaf. On some of the edges it's not that straightforward to work out whether you are looking at a leaf or another fruit. So I just kind of make the decision it's one or the other and go with it. And if it's wrong, if it's only a slither, no one's going to know. Now, because this is designer series paper and not card, you do need to be aware that the ink is going to travel a bit further than it would normally. So just be a little circumspect about going too near the edge of your image, because it will spread. So then I'm going to do the same sort of thing with the Granny Apple Green, in that I'm going to come in and do some darker areas. And then I'll come over with the light for the rest of the leaf. So yes, the ink will travel a bit further, purely because this is a lighter weight paper than ordinary cardstock. So just be aware that you could end up with a fuzzy edge. It's not the end of the world, because we're going to come in with the Balmy Blue, but Balmy Blue, and that will help kind of push it back. The only other thing I need to do, and I only need to do it on one, is just on the flower head at the end of the fruit. Just come in with these light soft suede. And then I've got the light balmy blue to just fill in the rest. But as I say, I mean, it's very therapeutic doing this colouring, but it does take a little while if you want to make sure you stay reasonably inside the lines. But it makes such a difference, and of course you can go any colours you want. I haven't tried it using watercolour pencils yet, but I think that might be my next choice. So there, whoop, bit of blue there. So have I coloured it all? Yes, I have. The thing I love about the blends is that they're not terribly expensive to get the duos, and you can just build up your collection. Right, I will need to do some more colouring, and actually I need my scrap again because I need to stamp in the bottom corner of my liner. So I've mounted the image that I want to use onto my block, and I'm just going to ink it up with Memento because it's the right ink to use for using with blends. Do remember to hold it in place so there is a vague chance that the ink will transfer to the card. I do see too many people just going like that and expecting a really good impression, which particularly with photopolymer you're not going to get. It's not quite so bad with the Memento, but with the red rubber, but with Memento it's actually, I need the Memento out again. With Memento it's not a great plan, frankly. Right, now somewhere I have hidden, there it is, my sentiment. Now the previous one I heat embossed, actually I might heat emboss this because we have black heat embossing. We've got black shimmer and black ordinary. This is the ordinary, so I'll get my embossing buddy, and this is just an offcut of the pineapple punch from when I was making mats and card bases and those sorts of things. So just ink that up, and I'm going to go towards one end. I just want to make sure, because the rubber at this end is slightly higher, so I want to just make sure I straighten out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's really not too bad. So let's dabble it into our embossing powder. And if you know me from old, you will know that I like to go in at least twice, just to make sure I get a good covering. And I'm going to need to come in with a paintbrush just to get rid of a little bit of spray. So dry paintbrush is here. So there's a little bit just there, which was probably the edge of the stamp. Right, so let's grab my trusty cheese board. Just give it a little tap and heat up. Now, as ever with my heat embossing, perfect time for you to hit the subscribe button because it will be a little loud, so I will talk, but you may not be able to hear me. So I'm just heating up my heat gun. It's always better to heat your heat gun before you use it, and then just blast away. And that's that. Now, always make sure you leave it to cool before you go anywhere near it, otherwise you are going to smudge the embossing powder. It will... Ooh, I'm looking for a punch. Where's it gone? There it is. It will remain wet because it's molten, so it will remain wet for a while, and if it's still warm, it will smudge. So I'm using my tailored tag punch, and I'm just going to find out where my end is and then put it a wee bit, and not quite central, punch, and then we get a nice flag end. You can do that with scissors. You don't have to use the punch. So if you were doing it with scissors, what I would do is find the middle, cut, and then cut to that point. You're going to get a much better finish than if you try to do the two sides separately. It gives you something to aim at, so you get a much cleaner flag that way. So just a little handy hint. Right, so now this is dry, I can colour it. Where are we time-wise? 10 minutes. Yeah, shouldn't take too much longer. Right, so I'm going to start with the leaves and just add some of the dark granny apple green. Just where, I mean, you almost don't need to do this because there's shading in the stamp itself. This is almost an unnecessary step, but I do think it makes a bit of a difference. And then come in there, let's go round there and along the edge, and then on here. And then come in with the light granny apple green and just blend over the top. And I do like, if I put the dark down first and I want to blend, I do like a circular motion when I'm over the other colour, just to help it blend. Basically it's going to blend if there is enough alcohol for one colour to run into the other. So by doing circular motions, you add extra alcohol to that area, and then you can, when you're doing the edges, obviously be a little more delicate because you don't want to run. So circles there, straight lines here, more circles. And this is where, as I say, you don't actually need to do the extra colour, but I do think it makes a difference. And if you've got the duo, it's quite good to be able to use the duo, really. There we go. Oop. Miss the lid, why not? Shove it up my jumper, and then soft suede for this little, it's kind of the dried up flower, and the stalk, and then all we've got to do is put everything together and we'll be done. So do remember that we are still in celebration. If you were to buy the product medley, you would already qualify for, like Mango Melody, you would already qualify for a level 1 celebration item. If you make your order up to £90, you would qualify for 2 level 1 celebration items or 1 level 2 item, which is always nice to get something for just spending money. Free items. Lots of different things to choose from. There's also the product coordination release, which covers both celebration items and items from the mini catalogue. The mini catalogue runs until June. The coordination items only run until the end of March, even the ones that are going to carry over. As we understand, it will disappear in March and then come back in the annual catalogue. Right, let's pop all this together. I'm going to use snail to add the paper to my mat. but I do want to make sure that I'm reasonably close to the edge of the paper, or indeed going over the edge of the paper as I have just done. If you're in the UK, I would be honoured if you would shop with me and try out my customer service. If you use the host code, you not only get the, what I call usual, but if you like, thank you card and handmade thank you gift. If you use the host code, you also get some free product, because I basically just split the host rewards between everybody who has used the host code and send out something to say thank you. Last month it was a stamp set, just saying, and obviously it depends on how many people use the code and how much they spend as to how much is in the pot. So it won't always be a stamp set. It could be, I did Wink of Stella once, I've done chamois, I've done all sorts of things, but yeah. So the link to my online store is in the information in the description bar below this video. It's also on my website, and there's a link to that below this video. It's the associated blog post, and it will take you directly to the post that has got photos of this item, this project on. So that's there, I think, yes. So I need a dimensional there, and in fact that little edge piece would be perfect. So, oh, don't need that. So I'm going to pop this. Is it going to be, yes, the right size? So if I come in here and then peel that up, I can pop some liquid adhesive or snail just there. So yes, if you use the host code, you get extras. But of course, the best thing you can do at the moment during Celebration is to join my team. You would then get free any stamp set of your choice that is not a host set or a Celebration item. You get this pack of designer series paper, which is a sampling of papers from the mini and the Celebration catalogue. And you also get the most amazing, I love it, mini cutter. In fact, let me use it for this. So I can just line up the edge of my card against the edge of the guillotine, and then chop, and I've got a nice clean cut at the edge of my card there. But I keep this on my desk all the time. It's great for cutting smaller bits down. Right, okay, so all we need to do is pop everything together and we're done. But yes, I would be thrilled if you would either join my team or choose to try out my customer service. I do try very hard to look after my customers. This is just a half sheet of Poppy Parade. No, it's not. Pineapple Punch, wrong peas, and then scored in the middle. So yes, I do try to look after my customers. They are very important to me. My team is also very important to me. We have regular Facebook meetings because my team are spread quite a way around the UK and into Europe. Whoops. So Facebook Live is great for that. And we also try and meet up face-to-face when we can as well. So yeah, and newsletters and all those sorts of things. So there we go. Those are my two botanical print cards for today. And as I say, I think we're having a little bit of knot colour, doing a bit of both. I quite like that idea. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got questions or comments, you can leave those below. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!